Hello and welcome to this small demonstration video where I will show you how to configure the Brotherson RTU32 running the IEC 60870-104 server. First I will start by opening the Excel sheet. The Excel sheet consists of several worksheets. We have the main, we have the variables 101 slave, 101 master, but in this video we'll concentrate on the main, the variables and the 104 server. First I'll start by setting up the main. Here I'll give my project a name, station 001, and the path will be saved on my local PC. Next thing to do is to set up the IP address of the RTU32. The next thing, the program type. Here you can choose between 101 slave, 101 master, server, client. In this case we'll select the 104 server. Then the program name, we will call it station 001. Next thing to do is to define my different data points. That is single point, double points, etc. Here I'll start by defining a local remote, door, switch, AC, supply, monitor, DC, supply, monitor, valve position, and a flow, and a temperature, and we also have a controllable valve control. Then I have to define my signal type. This is single point, double point, measured value, normalized, etc. This is a single point, and a double point for my valve position. Here I have a normalized measured value, and a command double point. Then I have to define my variables. Here I use the naming convention digital input, module 0, and bit 0, and so on. In this double point information, I'm actually using two variables. I can choose whether to define the second variable by myself, or the generator will automatically take the di0_4 and then an _2 for the second variable. I'll just put in a name here. Then I have my analog input, module 0, channel 1, and the second channel, and my digital output, module 0, and digital output, module 0 and 1. Then I have my COA address. This is station 1, just like this. We have my IOA address 1. Then my time tag is 7 bytes. And then I have select execute. We can enable select execute functionality. In this case we'll just use false. And for my measured values I can choose a threshold. When the spontaneous event should be sent, we'll have this to 5% change. We'll have no cyclic transmission, and the resolution of the normalized analog values is 14 bits because it's located on the RTU32. And then the next thing to do is to bind my variables to the hardware on the RTU32. Here I can choose between the RTU digital input or outputs, analog input outputs, sequence of events, and a straton. In this case it's a digital input. Analog input, digital output. And the next thing is the module. They are all located on the RTU32, so it's module 0. For the analog input and outputs, Each channel is a module, so the first analog input is located on module 0, the next one on 1, 2, etc. And the digital output is 0. Then I have to define the I/O type. Here I can choose between digital input, analog input, digital output, analog output. In this case, it's a digital input. Like this, then an analog input and digital output. So the data type, we have the input bit, input word, input double word, output bit, output word, and output double word. Input bit, here it's a word and an output bit. Yes, here we'll just, now this is done, then we'll define the bit numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is actually a double point, so it's using two IOs. I can choose whether to define the second IO, but otherwise the general automatically select the next bit number. So that if I leave this empty, the general will automatically select bit number 5. And for this one, we don't need to define a bit number because it's analog input. This we have the first, and then again it's a double point. I can choose whether to define profile by myself or let the generator do it. So I'll just leave this empty. Then we have, for analog inputs, we should do the scaling because we're using 14 bits. We'll have like this. So now we're actually done configuring the variables. Then I'll go to the 104 server. Here I'll just specify which client that are allowed to connect to our RTU. So now I've done, I'll just minimize this and open our generator tool. Here we can select to just download the program after compilation directly to the RTU32. I'll choose this. And here I can use the active Excel sheet, or I can choose among several Excel sheets, so I can download up to 4 in just one click. I'll just press this one. Then after compilation it will download it directly to the RTU32. Now we're done. I'll start by a simulation program. Select this one and connect. So I'll just send a general interrogation. Here we have our values. I'll try changing some of the digital inputs on the RTU. On, off, the next one. So I'll try changing the analog inputs. So here you see everything is working as configured. Thank you. This was all for now.